Yo, yo, yo. What's up, Oberlin? Welcome back to the TucknTuck show.
Hey, man, what the hell's going on? Where's Ahmad at? Who the hell are you?
Don't worry about it.
Wait a minute. My brother always does the show with me. I don't know where'd you come from, how they get a new person on the show, and they didn't even ask me.
Hey, I'm here. That's all that matters.
Well, this is not going to work. Matt, stop the show, because I'm not doing this show without my brother.
Come on, man.
So...
It's the TucknTuck Show, brought to you by the Arb at Tappan Square, Prestige Detailing, Oberlin Weekly, Now let's welcome the hosts of TucknTuck Show, Ahmad and Khalid.
All right. We're back today with the TucknTuck Show. I'm here with the one and only DJ Leek, Malik Tuck. He's also known as my son. So,
hey,
how you doing, son?
Good, man. Feeling good. It's a Friday, and no work this week. Well, I got a little bit of work this weekend, but nothing crazy. So
it is Friday, and we never shoot on Friday. Obviously, Ahmad's not here. He's out golfing at the simulator, or
trying to.
So what's been going on, man? You're pretty busy. It's hard to catch up with you. What's going on in life?
Yeah, as you know, beginning of the year, back to my regular scheduled programming. I got Ohio State going on right now. So for those of you that don't know, I host for Ohio State men's basketball team every home conference game. Got that. And then actually, it's funny, January is usually my slowest time of the month. But I had a wedding already this month. And I just got a new job, so that's been keeping me busy as well. And just a lot of gigs. I got a private gig this week for a logistics company, so a lot of work, but I enjoy it. So,
all right. Now you do Ohio State men's basketball. Now what do you specifically do?
So actually this year they had me as the DJ and the host.
Okay.
So I DJ before the game, pre-game, as the guys are coming out warming up, things like that. And then once the game starts, I'm the guy that goes around the arena, talks to the fans. Hey, we got so-and-so here. They're going to compete in the whatever game it is, things like that. And half-court shot, post-game interview, things like that. So,
now, how did you get that job? Because, I've known you basically your whole life. And, as a kid growing up, you kind of geeky. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think you'd ever make it to this level. I was kind of concerned about you as a child because, we put you in some special classes. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't think that's true.
But we had, I told your mom, I'm like, boy, it's a little slow. But, I
was in class with all the other white kids. It's fine.
Yeah. But when you went to class and the bell rang, did you leave class or did you have to stay in the same class all day? Because I think you had to stay in the same class the whole time, right?
No, I went to different classes.
All right. But no, in all seriousness, man, how did you come about? Because, from where you came in Medina,
mm-hmm.
and you became DJ at the Columbus Crew, and you do the in-game show for Ohio State, DJ. For some people, that's like a dream come true.
Yeah.
So,
for me, it was too. Honestly, I was really just blessed. It was a funny story. I think, just as I was coming up and DJing, my brand had started getting a little bit bigger. And, I went to Ohio State as well, so that was a good connection there. And unfortunately, I actually I took someone's job that I knew, which was kind of tough. But I DJ'd a volleyball game for the women's team. And one day they just, the guy that hired me for that shot me a text. He said, hey, would you ever consider hosting men's basketball? And I thought, it'd be like a trial run or just something fun or fill in. And so I knew the girl that did it. And she's super cool, super sweet. And I said, hey, do you know what's going on, or am I just filling in? And she said, I don't know. They just told me something else, and I'm not really sure what's going on. And then I found out that I was the new official host. So it really just kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't apply for it. I didn't really ask to do it. It kind of just fell in my lap. So
you stole somebody else's job, just like you're trying to steal your uncle's job today, huh?
Hey, man.
Hey, man, I hope my job is safe. I'm pretty sure it is. But, I mean, now no, seriously, though, you do come from pretty humble beginnings. And obviously, I've known you your whole life because I'm your dad. And you did all this stuff. And even some of the shows or some of the videos I see when you DJ in front of large crowds. How was that? Because that has to be a pretty amazing feeling. What's the most people you've ever DJ'd in front of?
I mean, I've done festivals, so probably at a minimum 10,000. Okay. So, I mean, most of the sports games the crew is probably 15, 17,000. You know, we had a couple of sellout games. I mean, I'm not directly DJing, but I'm in control of the music for the most part, and I'm like on the field. And then obviously if you come to a basketball game, there's about probably 10 to 12,000 people. So, I mean, at any given point, I'm talking or speaking in front of probably more than about 10,000. So,
is that hard to do? Because I can do this show down in where I can't reveal our location, but where I can do this show. It's only me, you, and Matt here today. But for me doing it in front of 10 or 12,000 people, I'd be like extremely nervous. Do you still get nervous when you do that?
No, I mean, I think I even told you this when I used to run track. Like the bigger, the better for me. I get more nervous in front of smaller crowds because it's a bit more intimate. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like when it's a bigger crowd, it's just the energy's there for me. I get more excited. And, I mean, just to be in that position is just, like you said, it's a dream come true. So I try not to look at it as like, oh, there's 15,000 people here. I try to look at it as I'm in this position and I get to control something of this magnitude, and I want to make sure it's done right. So I kind of look at it that way. And the same way I was in track, I was like, hey, we got a big crowd here today. Let's give them a show, you know, so.
So you don't have any performance anxiety or nothing like that?
Oh, man, I get anxiety all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like anybody that's put in a position like that, you're going to get anxious if you care. If you didn't care about doing your job right, then you would just be like, it's going to go how it's going to go. But, you know, you want the fans to be happy with the music, and you want to make sure that you provide the right energy. So I think I get more anxiety from making sure I do my job right and not really so much like the amount of people that are there.
Okay, well, that's cool. Well, we're going to get ready to wrap up because this is the first segment, and we're going to do another segment after this. So we're going to wrap up early because I don't want to start a question, cut you off, and come back.
All good.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap up, Matt, and we'll be back after this.
Welcome back to the TucknTuck Show. Today's guest is brought to you by The Art at Tappan Square.
All right, we're back again with DJ Leek.
Jeez.
Now, you've always DJ'd, and recently you've got a new job.
Yeah.
So tell us about what's
Rent
going on.
got high. No. So I currently am a sales manager over at an organization in Columbus called Experience Columbus. So I oversee any organization, association that comes in with, you know, a peak number, 150, 1 to 400, and then anything multicultural. So my job is basically to bring in outside organizations or even inside organizations within the city or the state and get them to spend tourism dollars within the city. So it's going pretty good so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's so, and they send you to a lot of different places, and you met quite a few people, you told me.
Yeah, you get to travel. You get to meet some pretty cool people. I went to the Congressional Black Caucus, got to see Dame Dash, Master P, they were all there. And then you get to see some people. Congresswoman Joyce Beatty was in attendance, and got to meet her. So I've been able to meet some pretty cool people and bring some cool organizations into the city. I think that's the best part of the job is when you do win a bid or a proposal, and you're kind of like, hey, like I helped bring that to the city and bring in a couple hundred thousands of dollars or however much it is. So it's pretty exciting stuff.
So now in that company, where do you see yourself going? I mean, I know because you like to move around a lot.
Yeah, I do.
And I don't want to say, you leaving that place, but where do you see yourself going, like through this company or beyond that?
I mean, honestly, at this point in my life, man, I'll be 30 in June. I'm just kind of going with the flow. If I'm there for another 10 years, great. If something else comes up, great. I just want to show up, do my best every day. I mean, I do enjoy being there, so I plan to stick around. But hey, man, if the Lakers come calling, I gotta go.
No, you're joking, but you have actually applied for jobs with the Lakers, right?
Yeah, I actually applied for their in-game host position, and sent in my resume and talked to some people. So I felt like it was a good possibility, but I think everything works out for a reason, and I'm kind of glad I didn't move to LA because, man, it's expensive. So
it's very expensive,
and I got a good thing in Columbus, so I'm gonna keep riding that out.
So do you look for like other teams or other places to go? Because I know you like a true Buckeye.
Yeah,
and that's probably like you. Would you ever try to get on the football side at all?
Yeah, they've asked me to recently, but a buddy of mine does it right now, and it's been his gig. So
you could possibly get like free tickets to the game.
I can't really disclose that kind of information right now. I have to talk to my lawyers.
So you're this buddy of yours. I mean, are you really close? Because I mean, like I got friends, but I'd stab him in the back in a minute if I can get a better job.
I mean, I get free tickets to basketball games, and I can't even get people to come to those.
Well, that basketball and football is not the same thing. You know what I mean?
Still free. You're the one that likes free stuff.
I do love free. But I'm just saying, like basketball. Only thing about basketball is like I went last year and they played Duke, and that was awesome.
Yeah, you got to come to the right games.
Yeah, but they come and go so fast.
Yeah,
it's like, man, this guy's here 1 minute and then he's gone, and then like Michi was there.
Yeah,
and then he left. I'm like, I'd at least went to go see him.
Did you hear about Bronny?
No, he coming to Ohio State.
They said he's in our OSU's in his top 3.
He'll probably come to Ohio State. Doesn't his dad have like a?
Yeah, he owns the whole locker room basically.
He'll be there, I'm sure, for that 1 year.
But yeah, football would be great. But I mean, I also do a lot of weddings, and the Ohio State would have to pay me a pretty penny to give up my wedding. So
I'm sure.
Because at this point in my career, it's not so much about the image.
It's about the money.
It's about that money.
It's always about the money. I tell people that all the time. Like, hey man, it's about that cash.
I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, I'm not chasing money, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna give up something just for a look,
Yeah, well, they're like Richard Pryor said, it's better to have it, not to need it, than to need it, not to have it.
My awesome, amazing grandmother told me not to chase money. She said also to give her a shout out. So,
Granny's at the casino every Saturday, almost every other day, chasing $1. Talking about don't chase money. She always chasing $1.
Man, don't talk about my grandma like that.
Yeah, well, I love Granny, but Granny talking about don't chase money. She out there chasing $1 every chance she get. But we'll probably edit that out, right, Matt?
No.
Yeah, but that's cool that you do want to be in the right situation, because throughout life you don't want to be in a situation where you're making money but you're miserable.
At this point, it's whatever I feel is the best situation, because like a high profile team could call and say, hey, we want you to come do this, but if it doesn't make sense, then I'm not going to do it, but I mean, I would love to work for like an NBA team or an NFL team. I mean, I was really close to being the in-arena DJ for the Bengals.
Right.
So I interviewed with them, and it sounds great, but it wouldn't have worked out with my schedule because every Sunday and driving from Columbus to Cincinnati. So, and I'm glad I'm older and these possibilities are coming up because I can look at them with some tunnel vision and kind of, pick and choose like, okay, is this a good situation or a bad situation, and not just be so wide-eyed about it.
Yeah, because some people, and then you didn't get upset. You stayed pretty even keeled throughout the whole thing. When it didn't happen, you actually ended up getting a job with where you're at now. So it worked out pretty good for you. So there's always another door that's going to open one way or the other.
For sure.
But, I mean, because when I was a kid, I remember Ebony called me, Ebony Jet. They wanted me to be a model. And I turned them down all the time. I didn't want all that.
Oh, I thought Ebony was that stripper. You said that called you.
No, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But yeah, other than that, coming up, man, now you come up in Medina.
Mm-hmm.
You were track athlete of the year, right, for the county.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
And a lot of people, they don't know that.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because a lot of my, I've been in Columbus for 10 years. So not a lot of people know Medina me. They just know DJ Leek. But yeah, I mean, you know, I started running my sophomore year. And then, yeah, senior year, I was voted county MVP, you know, which, I mean, you got Brunswick, Medina, Highland, you know, Cloverleaf, Buckeye. So it's pretty cool. It was pretty cool to get that honor. And then, you know, we won the state championship in the 4x1 and I got 7th in the 200. So it's high school, but sometimes it's nice to look back and say like, wow, in that time in my life, like I worked really hard and I was rewarded for it. So I always be appreciative of it.
Yeah, because I remember being in Amherst and I was sitting there and you had the glasses on. You were real young, small. Mm-hmm. And Tony Brown says, you know, if they win here, they go to state. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, if they win, this is regional. If they win here, they go to state. And I'm like, for real? And then,
yeah, because we had never ran track. No, we didn't know anything about the sport.
Didn't know anything about it. And I remember you played basketball, and for some reason, I thought you were pretty decent. And for some reason, the coach, you didn't.
I was a good team player.
For some reason, the coach, and I remember I said, hey, man, if you don't do good at this, try something else. And you just went out for track and came like one of the best in probably Medina history. Yeah,
probably right behind Dwayne Latterjoe. He was like a transfer student from England. So, I mean, he doesn't really count.
He does count. I don't know who he is.
No, he's a good guy. I talked to him a couple times. He's like an Olympian athlete. But right behind him, yeah, I guess I would be somewhere up there. So,
all right. Well, we're going to wrap this segment up and probably come back for one more last segment.
Cool.
Hi, welcome to the art. Thank you. Have a great day. Come again.
Welcome back to the TucknTuck Show. Today's guest is brought to you by The Art at Tappan Square.
All right, we're back once again. And while we're here, I got a lot of stories about you growing up and all that.
Oh, boy.
Now, I'm not going to say that because, you know, I'm just not. But growing up, the funniest person probably in our family is your grandmother.
Yeah, but yeah, not even trying.
She don't even know it. So do you have any like stories about her that you can remember from like childhood or anything?
There's so many, man. Like it's not even like stories, it's just moments. Like she just says stuff and you're like, like what? I remember one time I told her a joke and she laughed so hard. And she made me tell that joke every single time I came to visit. She'd be like, Malik, tell so-and-so the joke. I'm like.
Was that Lavelle Crawford joke?
Yeah, man. I'm like, dang, this joke is played out.
About diabetes. I remember that.
But she would be like in tears.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's funny, man. She just, anytime she calls me, anything she says is just hilarious. So.
Yeah, she does some wild stuff. I can't even say it on air because she'll get mad at me.
Don't do that.
And I'm like, she's like, well, don't be putting all my business out there in the street. But one day I'm gonna write a book, probably after she gone, because I can't write it while she's
She'll come back. She'll come right back. Don't worry.
So, and other than that, in Medina, what was like growing up there with all your? Because you lived in Medina.
Yeah.
Even though if you come to Oberlin, all of Oberlin will know who you are because of your,
Well, we would come up here
in the summer,
yeah,
all the
summer,
time.
sometimes on the weekends, but it's
Because your mom, your mom and her side of the family, they're pretty funny too.
yeah, Medina. It's funny like when I think about it in the moment, and then I think about it in like hindsight. Like growing up, I'm grateful because I was able to grow up in an environment that taught me kind of how the world works.
Right.
And so I'm grateful for that. I mean, most people know Medina is a predominantly white city, white town. But I mean, I had a lot of love there. Like
Right.
I never had any problems. I never had any issues. I can't say the same for some of my friends and family, but I enjoyed it. I met some great people and some people that put me in some great positions. So, I mean, I'm always grateful to grow up in Medina. I had great coaches and, people that cared about me. So, and I mean, there were some microaggressions that I didn't know were microaggressions until I got older, but I don't even think the people saying them knew that they were microaggressions. So, things are a lot more sensitive now. So, back in the day, we didn't really take too much offense to things, but now like you got to be careful. But, yeah. And then my mom just being, who she was in the community. You kind of just had to be in your P's and Q's. Teachers would always say, "Do I need to call your mom?" I'm like, man, nobody else's mom is threatening their kids. I remember one time I did bad on a math test. And I went to the teacher. I said, "Can you please not call my mom about this?" Like, next thing I know, I get home. "You telling teachers not to test?" I'm like, this snitch. I'm like, that's crazy. I didn't talk for a whole week in that class.
Really, really.
I was angry.
Yeah, I remember coming down there, and it's a different place from here, and it is because Oberlin is so liberal, and everybody gets along, and you could tell.
Yeah.
But then, like in Union Square, that's where all the black people lived, and then outside of that, it's like mostly all white.
Well, it was cool because it felt. I mean, most of the people there that were black were family. So
they're all related.
You had a very strong community feel within the city, even though, like I said, it's predominantly white. Anyone that was black, you knew.
Probably your cousin.
Yeah, all your cousins. Even if you weren't cousins, you were cousins.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So no, it was cool though.
But that's cool. I mean, because growing up, you come out of there, and I always remember you as a child. You've always been like a positive person.
Mm-hmm.
And me and your sister would sit there and like, your sister like, "What's wrong with him?" I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Why is he always so positive about everything?" Like, I don't know. I was like, he's just like that.
Yeah.
But going through life, as I've gotten older, I realized that if you are a more positive person, more things come to you by being positive as opposed to being negative.
Yeah.
And that's something I learned from you. And a lot of times, I don't know if you and your sister know this, but I learned way more probably from you than you guys actually learned from me. And I'm like a fountain of information.
You are. You know a lot of stuff. I don't know, man. I think it just comes from. I mean, growing up, we had a positive family. Like it wasn't like we had a negative family, But I think for me, it was just I went through a lot of things internally and personally, and then like I know when I got to college, when I got hurt and I couldn't run anymore. I mean, I remember calling you crying because I was like, I can't run no more. My grades were bad. I just kind of hit like a dark place, and I was just kind of like, man, I don't like feeling like this. Like this sucks, because I was by nature a happy, goofy person. And so for me, I went through this phase of just not being happy. When I got hurt in track, all my teammates were practicing, going to dinner. I was eating by myself, in my dorm by myself. And I was like, man, this sucks. And I was like, I got to figure a way to not feel like this. And that's kind of where things started. For me, just wanting to be positive is just because who wants to be negative and feel sad all the time? Like, I don't like that feeling. So I just kind of worked on it.
And you did that, like without therapy or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like one day I just told myself I don't want to feel like this. And before class, I would watch motivational videos, and I downloaded like a quote app and stuff like that. And I mean, it's taken years. And now I have a little program or a little organization called Just Breathe, where we try to help people with mental health too. So, it's a lifelong thing, man. No one ever really becomes 100% healed. It's just day by day, moment by moment, you know, just trying to live your best life and be as happy as you can be.
You do have like Just Breathe. How is that working out for you? Because I know you started that and.
Yeah, so it was going really well. We had like average 20-ish members that would come, and it's an open panel discussion, and everybody was invited, and we'd have food and stuff. And people really enjoyed it, man. They'd come up to me in the streets or even in the club, like, man, hey, I enjoy your Just Breeze. And as like for many people, COVID, you know, ruined a lot of things. And, you know, you got to have a venue, you got to have parking, and then, you know, stuff like that. So we're trying to get it back going. Right now, I've just been focusing on the Instagram, and that's been going pretty well. But I'm trying to get back in person here soon. So
yeah, because you had posted something the other day, and it was I can't remember what it was because I'm scrolling through so much stuff. But it's always some positive. It's always positive, and it always has an effect on me one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I try to be positive for people. Sometimes people they just say something to me or do something that makes me mad, but. For most of the time, I'm either with Matt, Henry, David, and if you're with Henry or David or Wade for more than 5 minutes, you can't be sad.
Yeah, you can't be in a bad mood.
There's no way.
It's scientifically proven.
Yeah, you can't. Any of them guys around, you're not gonna be sad ever. You know. So, but other than that, man, I just want to say thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
I got nothing but love for you. I'm proud of you.
I'd hope so.
even if you wasn't who you are, doing what you're doing, I'll still be like, you know, I'll be happy for you.
Oh, well.
But I'm glad you came on the show, and you said you're buying. You didn't say you was buying dinner at the Fab?
What time is it, Matt?
It's 7.
I'm buying everybody steaks and burgers till 7:01 at the Fab.
That's what I do. You can't steal that from me. You got to do it till, well, we got to get down. What time is it? 7?
Like father, like son.
Nah, but I appreciate you guys having me. I'm proud of the show. You guys are doing great things, and I know it's only going to get bigger and better. So
I hope so, man. We need to start making some money. If not, you said you got 2 bedrooms down there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to move to Columbus.
My rent is not cheap.
Oh, I didn't say I was paying rent. I just said I'm moving down there.
Oh, well.
I mean, you got somewhere to stay. You ain't going to leave me. Because, see, if you don't give me somewhere to stay, I'll just go on the news like, y'all know DJ Leek, I'm his dad. Don't give me nowhere to stay.
You ever seen that? What's that one actress name that played? What's her name? Akilah and the Bee. Palmer. Yeah, I do not know this man. I have never seen him in my life.
I've never seen that. I never watched that movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're gonna wrap up this show. We're sponsored by Oberlin Weekly, Prestige Detailing, and the Art.